It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 29th day of March 2023. A Wednesday morning coming to you from Central Virginia. And step right up, folks. We're getting ready for a really big show today. You know, over the past 8 or 9 years, in one form or another, I have done about 2,400 episodes of Travel and Cruise Industry News. Now, it's taken different forms over the years. It's evolved some to what it is today. But at no time in that 9-year period, almost 10-year period now, have I ever had a show where I talked about manatees, sharks, and marlins on the same show, which simply means that, folks, this is probably a very fishy show today. But we'll get to that. Today, needless to say, is National Manatee Appreciation Day. The big gentle giants have always been a favorite of mine and my niece, who has been involved with manatees over the years. So this is a big day for our family. We do celebrate National Manatee Appreciation Day. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search all the big guys, any of them. Search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. If you are listening via the podcast and want to ever jump over to the video feed, just go to the description of the podcast and there'll be a link to do just that. We do have some news stories this morning to go with the Manatee Celebration Day. A shark attack cancels excursions. Miami Marlin-NCL Partnership, Carnival Venezia raises Bahamas flag, and Norovirus on Enchantment. That and a lot more here this morning on National Manatee Appreciation Day. I'll be back with a look at the news right after this word from one of my favorite people.
Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scoot-Around. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scoot-Around for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise.
And boy, you can tell I feel better when I start bouncing to that music. And I'm bouncing this morning. Of course, I do get out of COVID jail today. I tested negative once again. I have also been monitoring my temperature, and I have no fever. The cough, while I still will cough, and the doctor has said I could still have a nagging, hacking cough for maybe up to 30 days. But it's not, clearly it's not any worse. If anything, it's better. My voice is much closer to being back to its normal dulcet sounds. So, and I just, I've had a new lease on life, I'll tell you, these past, we're going on 72 hours now that things turned around drastically. So it's a good day for me. I will can go back to spending some time with the family instead of being quarantined in the cave. I may go outside a little bit today after it gets warmed up considerably. I haven't been out of the house now for some time. So, and we start heading now toward the next cruise, which is May the 1st. And now I can really start getting excited about that. All right, back with today's news. Right after this word from one of our network sponsors. Today's lead story, following along the manatee thread, a recent run of shark attacks in the waters off New Caledonia has prompted local authorities to close beaches. This means that many of the shore excursions offered beach breaks and other water sports will be impacted. Carnival Cruise Line has been notifying guests of these risks. Carnival Cruise Line does offer a variety of non-beach shore tours in Noumea, including the opportunity to tour the Tabajo Cultural Center, a scenic drive with wine and cheese tastings, trolley rides, a forest ropes course, and more. No onboard credit or other compensation is being offered for impacted shore tours, but guests with upcoming sailings can still cancel or change their excursion plans if they prefer. Several shark attacks have occurred in Noumea already in 2023, including a fatal accident that killed a 59-year-old Australian man off of Chateau Royal Beach. That's less than 3 miles from the Port Noumea cruise terminal. Local beaches were immediately closed. A shark culling was begun to help mitigate the risk of further attacks. In the same area, a 49-year-old woman suffered injury from a bull shark, and a surfer was attacked but not injured. The Florida Museum of Natural History's International Shark Attack File ranks New Caledonia as 13th in the world for shark attack incidents. Australia is listed as 2nd, New Zealand as 5th, indicating high numbers of sharks throughout this region. Local authorities issued a decree temporarily banning all swimming from the beaches to 985 feet offshore in Noumea until further notice, and this notice goes until December 31st of 2023. It could be adjusted if authorities believe the threat has passed or adequate mitigation measures have been implemented. At the moment, only Carnival Luminosa and Carnival Splendor are sailing in the South Pacific, and both ships have itineraries that call on Noumea. Carnival Luminosa is home ported in Brisbane, Carnival Splendor in Sydney until mid-April. Luminosa will reposition to Seattle for the Alaska sailing season, while Splendor will remain in Sydney year-round. Other cruise lines with occasional calls in Noumea include P&O, Seabourn, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity. Guests booked on sailings with those lines should reach out to their cruise line for information about excursion changes as needed. And finally, the third fishy story this morning has to deal with the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. They are now exclusive partners, teaming up to give guests at the ballpark an onboard amazing experience. This is the first cruise line partnership that the Marlins have entered into since the team moved to their new Miami ballpark in 2012. Details of the onboard credit giveaways have not yet been revealed, but it appears there will be multiple chances for game attendees to win credit for future Norwegian cruises. Baseball season officially opens March the 30th, and this year will mark the 30th anniversary of the Miami Marlins franchise. The team is scheduled to play 81 home games through the season, but it's unknown if the onboard cruise credit giveaways will be a part of every game. For the 2023 regular season, which runs from March 30th to October 1st, Norwegian ships sailing from Miami include the Sky, the Joy, the Encore, the Sun, and the Escape. Itineraries range from 3 to 20 days, depending on the ship and departure date. Norwegian Cruise Line's Terminal B at Port Miami is just 3.7 miles from Lone Depot Park, home field of the Miami Marlins, making it convenient for cruise travelers to catch a game or maybe a foul ball before or after setting sail on a great summer cruise. The Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Carnival Venezia was officially registered with the Bahamas Marine Authority during a ceremony in Cadiz, Spain. The ship set to sail from New York's Manhattan Cruise Terminal later this year promises to bring fun Italian style to cruising. Carnival Cruise Line's Carnival Venezia officially joined the Bahamas Maritime Authority Registry at a ceremony. Presently in dry dock at Cadiz, Carnival Venezia is preparing for the journey from Barcelona, departing on May the 29th to New York. Carnival Venezia will embark on year-round cruises from Manhattan Cruise Terminal starting June the 15th, providing passengers with various options across 10 different cruise durations and 22 unique itineraries. The registration ceremony in Cadiz saw Carnival Venezia's senior leadership team and the Classification Society completing all necessary processes and raising the Bahamian flag. Excuse me. Final story today. Has to deal with my friends up in Baltimore. By the way, Carnival Venezia, they're going to do some interesting Italian food things, including a focus on Italian flavors like the La Strada Grill, which serves classic Italian food, and Tamaroro, a Mex-Italian fusion restaurant. They're also going to have favorites like Guy's Burger Joint, Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse, Banzai Sushi, Teppanyaki. So that's what's ahead for Venezia. And finally today, the March 11th voyage of Enchantment of the Seas is the 7th and latest cruise ship Norovirus outbreak for the vessel sanitation program at the CDC. In the latest outbreak, a total of 97 people, 91 passengers, plus 6 crew, were struck with symptoms of vomiting and diarrhea. I'll point out that that was the cruise just before the one I was on. So the vessel was sailing on a 12-day Southern Caribbean cruise round trip from Baltimore. The outbreak's etiology is unknown at this time. Before the outbreak, the CDC was investigating gastrointestinal outbreaks on Celebrity Equinox, Celebrity Constellation, Brilliance of the Seas, and Jewel of the Seas, P&O, Arcadia, and Princess Cruises' Ruby Princess. Only the Arcadia outbreak had an etiology identified as norovirus. So I was on that cruise, and the next cruise has the outbreak on norovirus. That clearly it was not my issue, as on my next cruise, I ended up testing positive for COVID. So can't draw any conclusions from that, folks. Anyway, we'll wait to hear what the CDC has to say about all that. All right, that ends the news portion of the day. Again, it wasn't a great deal of news today. And it gave me a chance to have a little fun with the manatee, shark, and marlin stories. Kenneth's with us. Hot Air Tom is here. Hi, Hot Air Tom. Nikki's with us down in Jacksonville. Carol's here. Good to see you, Carol. Gretchen's with us out in Ohio. Dennis is with us. Good morning, Dennis. Fishy show. Laugh out loud. Hot Air Tom caught that one. Tenerife has accepted pronunciations Tenerife from Spanish, and the anglicized Tenerife Zanzarote is properly pronounced Zanzarote. Zanzarote. Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Sonny's with us. Venezia. Venezia. Yes. Two pronunciations. Amy's with us. She says, happy Wednesday. Due to Chillie's COVID, we are going for another booster this afternoon. Will be number 6, I think. I asked my doctor about that, and he said, it's not going to do you any good until you're ready. And that will be this fall. So there's clearly different medical opinions on that one. Katie says, morning all, listening during my lunch. Hi, Katie. Good to have you back with us. The proper guidance is to continue wearing a mask when around others, since the job does not protect you from getting it. The jab does not protect you from getting it. Yeah, I know. And that was difficult for me, Dennis, because I became so very complacent that I let my guard down. And I can't pinpoint the exact time when I got it, because so many things happened in fairly rapid succession. If you recall, we go back to my flight from Baltimore to Fort Lauderdale. The kid puked all over me on the plane. Then we went through the whole fiasco over the phone getting left behind from the Uber driver and all the hassles I had to go through with, thankfully, my help from my friends in getting my phone back to Nate, who was in Fort Lauderdale. Nate got it to his friend Renee, who eventually got it to me at the airport when I got back there. So I got my phone back, but I went through all the hassle of going on what was to be, a bucket list cruise for me, a full transit of the Panama Canal, with no phone and none of the things that I normally do on a cruise. And then when I got to San Diego, I had the 12-hour layover in the airport, the red-eye flight to Fort Lauderdale, another 12-hour layover in an airport, a flight back to Baltimore, stayed the night in the hotel, and then drove back to Virginia. Through all of that, I'm just not sure when I actually was exposed or caught COVID. And there's no way of knowing a definite time. The one thing I do know is that once it hit me, once I tested positive, it was about 8 hours until I was gravely ill, as ill as I've ever been. 4 times in my life, I felt like I could easily die. Twice was during chemo, the first time around with chemo. The third and fourth was a Friday night and Saturday night. And then Monday, I tested negative. And literally within hours, started improving rapidly. It was very strange set of circumstances through this one. It just goes to show, folks, how different people react so differently. Many people have had COVID multiple times. My friend Nate, I think he's had it 4 or 5 times and has never been sick, really sick. It wasn't like that for me. I went from, thinking, it's just a little light cough, to I thought I was going to die. So, and now, look at me now. In another 3 days' time, I'm back, very close to normal. Yeah, I still got a little nagging cough, which I could have for up to a month. So, and yes, I do have the mask. It will be with me now, back to where I need to wear it. Watch out for land sharks. Seems to me there's one right near the Miami Port Bayfront Market. Tom, that's another good reason to avoid that tourist armpit. Yeah, Dennis is not a fan of that. The Bayfront Market. Luminosa. Luminosa. A reminder again that the letter S has the Z sound when between 2 vowels, as in lasagna. Luminosa. There's Kevin, 30 and a wake up. Good morning from Enchantment of the Seas. I hated to talk about Enchantment of the Seas, my friend, but that was a strange one for me to go from where I went and ended up with COVID. The very next cruise, which you were on, ended up with Norovirus. So, but I trust it wasn't, you weren't involved. So, Joanne is with us. We took the Marlins plane home from a cruise in Acapulco after a cruise through the canal. Nice. That Miami Marlin is scary looking. Yes, Sonny. I thought that was great. Hi, Kevin. How's your weather? Yo, Brooklyn in the house. Hey, Eddie. Dennis says, hello, Kevin. Are your April cruises already booked? MSC has solo 7 nights out in New York for $349 every week in April. And Kevin says it's warm and sunny. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. Everybody going back and forth. Chillie, you're the only cruise vlogger properly pronouncing Venezia. I'm surprised that Carnival doesn't do a better job of it themselves, quite frankly. The Norovirus because people don't wash their hands. Yeah, that's clearly one of the reasons I am back to, constantly using my hand sanitizer again. Again, I had gotten complacent, folks. I got complacent with mask wearing on ships and airplanes. I had gotten complacent on hand sanitizing that we did all the time during COVID. I just really let my guard down and I had to pay the price for it. So don't do as I've done, folks. Tell me it was not worth it. Where is Chillie hiding? I'm not sure, because I was acting silly. I don't know. I was on day 12 on Enchantment. It wasn't that bad. I'm on the following, on an 8-day now. We still have precautions in place. Okay, that's good to know. And these E. coli outbreaks are because the crop pickers are not given toilet breaks and go into the field without washing their hands. That's interesting. Cat Lady 3003. Hi from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Welcome aboard, Cat Lady. Good to see you. Sonny says, ugh, to Dennis. A as in day. Lanzarote. Okay, I still try, Dennis. I'll keep it up. So pleased you're doing better. Oh, absolutely. That's pretty fast to get that ill. 8 hours. Yikes. And I tell you what, it was on Cruz Amigos. This was after I tested positive. I did the Cruz Amigos last Thursday. And literally, by Thursday night, I wanted to die. I thought, oh my God, give me till tomorrow so I can talk to my doctor and go to the hospital or something. That's how, it literally was that quickly, Sonny. It's just unbelievable. I wish cruise ship buffet would go back being crew serve like they were through COVID and not self-serve. People just don't wash their hands enough. That's one thing that I liked about Holland America. Holland America still serves the buffet. They serve you. So that's one line that did not change that. Amy, yes, over the years I've witnessed so much poor behavior at the buffets. Chillie, drink 4 cups of ginger turmeric tea, elixir throughout the day to get rid of that cough. I've been drinking the tea, Dennis. Yes. Unfortunately, who knows how long it's going to last. Unfortunately, the ship's crews don't know how to properly pronounce the names. Yeah, sad. I don't go out without a mask, and I don't eat out in restaurants, and I'm not flying right now. Well, I'm going to have to, go past that now, as I'm getting into the important part of the year for me, which quite frankly, folks, is my hosting some cruises. Many of you know that much that I've been able to do has come out of my pocket. I don't make the tremendous amount of money that other people in this space make. Hosting cruises gives me the opportunity to do more than I've been able to do. I'm doing a hosted cruise on Norwegian Joy on May the 1st, which is an 11-night cruise that I'm looking forward to. I'm going to be co-hosting it with Mr. Bucket List. And then I'm going to be doing an Alaska cruise on August the 30th, which is going to be the Cruise Amigos cruise with Amigo John and me and our friend Bonnie and Nate and others on that cruise. There may be some other changes, excuse me, in my schedule. I will let you know that as we maneuver on toward May the 1st. But there is a possibility of one more major change in my schedule this year, and we'll wait and see on that. So just hanging that out there for now. At one point, we could not see you because you had your open screen, but we could hear you. Well, that was strange. I'm not sure. I'm picturing Dennis as a hermit in a cave in some undisclosed location. I know the undisclosed location. That's not Dennis, but yes, I've been marooned on a Greek island since right before the blip. I want to stay healthy for your hosted cruise. Oh, yeah? I like that. I like that a lot. So, all right, guys. That's going to wrap me up for today. This is, of course, I appreciate each and every one of you guys being here, letting me act a little silly today, which was fine. I'll be back same time, same station tomorrow with another episode of travel and cruise industry news, followed quickly by the Cruise Amigos Live, which will be, remember the new time, 11:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and whatever GMT is. No, I think they changed this coming week. So I believe it's 4 o'clock London time, 4:30 London time tomorrow. So we got both shows tomorrow. And until then, this is the old fat travel guy. Have a fantastic day, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And hopefully, one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.